Okay guys, welcome back. Now in this video, we're just going to focus on the control panel for the auto trader, for the footprint auto trader. Now we continue to tweak and refine it here, partly based on our own trading with it and partly based on some feedback. We now the TradeDevils indicators Discord has gotten very active, and a lot of people are interested in this and are trialing and are giving us some feedback. So even just in the last 24 hours, we've tweaked a few things here just based on that good feedback. And always is often the case when you're working with a product like this, you might bump into something and go, oh God, if it would do this, it would just, oh, that would be so much better. So that's kind of where we are. We think we have it really in a solid place here, but we're always open to feedback. So now I'm recording this on Tuesday the 20th. The market is just, well, the market here, it's, what is it, 8 minutes after 4 o'clock. I'm going to just try and do it this way. It's so much easier. Market replay is such a pain in the you-know-what to work with. So let's see if we can do it here. Because really, we're just focused on what this control panel does for you. So first off, note that when you enable it here, and I have it on two different footprint charts. When you enable it here, it's going to come up unloaded, right? So that was a request, and I think that's important. So when you first enable it, you don't want it to be armed. So we've created it such that now when you enable it, it'll come up and it will not be loaded. You will have to turn it on and arm it. Now additionally, because we had a little bit of just some feedback here that it was too easy to find yourself in multiple trades. And I think in the first video we saw some examples of that when I was using market replay, where you may not want that next trade. It may qualify, but you may or may not want the trade. So what we've done here now is change this. So we're giving you the choices here. Just be sure nothing is enabled. That we're armed for a single shot. I guess we're staying with our loaded and unloaded theme here. Or we could do continuous. So single shot or machine gun, right? Or do you want it paused? So one shot, continuous, off. Most of you, particularly as you're getting comfortable with it and using it, I would encourage you to think in a one shot, so that you don't get in a trade, have it hit target, and then you may or may not want that next trade. So that's one piece we've done here. Again, being sure that when it first hits, when you first enable it, it comes in, it's not loaded. Then you have to decide whether you want to load it, and then of course what side you want to be on. Now, often, let me disarm it. Often I'll be like this, or like this, where I'm not sure. I might be here now. Do I want long, short? Based on what I see here, because that can change, right? I mean, intra-bar, as to which way you want to go here. There are times where I've done this, right, where I've got them both on, or I'm not sure. So whatever qualifies, I might be interested in that trade. So a lot of choices here in how you work with it. Now, the other thing that I would just encourage you to consider, this is an assistant. You don't necessarily need to turn all of your trading decisions over to this. It's designed to assist, not replace you. So, for example, if you saw something, well, let's just use we'll use, maybe up here at these highs, you started to see some negative delta for, whatever reason. You saw this and thought, okay, this area looks like it's vulnerable. We're going to head back to maybe VWAP for the close, something along those lines as we sell off, and in fact we did. So if you were here, don't stop thinking and stop trading and just depend entirely on the auto trader. If you see something intra-bar, don't hesitate to take it. But remember, so for example, if you took something here and you liked it, and maybe you've got a DOM or however you enter the market, maybe you just sold the market. Well, don't forget to turn this off, right? So if you took I don't know what your size is, but let's say you're trading 3 lots. Well, if you manually took a 3 lot because of what you saw here, you like the price action, and you made a decision just as you would have prior to having an auto trader, you make that decision. Well, don't forget to turn this off, because you might end up in a 6 lot if something qualifies. So you might have seen something, entered the market, and before you would come over here and go, oh, I got to turn that off, all of a sudden now you got another and you're in a 6 lot, which you may or may not want. That may be too much size for you. Yeah, I mean, it could be a 60 lot. It's just a function of, I'm just trying to remind you that if you take something manually and you had this armed, don't forget to turn it off. or you may double the size. Just a suggestion, because I ran into that. I don't think that was this morning, where I liked it, took it, and I thought, oh shit! I went. By the time I went to turn it off, I was in a 6 lot. Not again, it's not whether that trade wins or loses. It's just, you know, that may not be the size that you're comfortable with. So just that little warning here. Now, so this all should be relatively straightforward, whether it's on or off, or one shot, multiple, or off, trending or ranging. 90% of the time, you're going to want to be trending here to look for those delta signals to fire. We'll come back to do some training on when you might choose to be in ranging and what that does to the signals. It just reverses everything for another video. Long, short, that's obvious. Break even or close. Again, don't forget. I mean, you don't have to wait. You can close or quickly go to break even. Now it has to be, you know, it can't be right at your entry and then hit break even. There's got to be some distance before it'll pop to break even. You don't want to be that close. You want a little distance. But if you got, you know, 3-4 points away, that there's plenty of room for you to push it to break even. You know, that's just individual choice. Or you could literally manually do it. It's up to you, right? If it wasn't far enough away, but you didn't like what you saw, you could just manually grab it and move it to what you like. Okay, so moving down here. Now this is interesting as well. So we're giving you the choice here of saying, okay, I want one of these signals, as long as one of these is present, whatever it may be, whether it's a stacked imbalance or a delta signal or an exhaustion print or a value area gap. That's a new one, by the way. Or something that you created custom. Okay, I just want one of those. As long as one of those takes place, put me in, you know, well, you're going to make your decision here, long or short. The other choice is I want at least 2 of them. So if you were, for example, if you were up here and you were kind of leaning towards a short here, you're a little bit not sure, but you wanted a little more confirmation, here's where the assistant could be helpful. So you might set it here to say, okay, I want to be short, but only if 2 of these are present on a given bar. Giving you a little more confirm, maybe you're not sure. Okay, well, if at least 2 of these that I have highlighted here, I've turned on in green, if they are present in one bar, yes, take the short. Or do I want all of them? Now think about, you're not going to have a whole lot of trades because you're saying I want a flip or reversal, divergence. I want it to be above or below the POC. Value area gap probably wouldn't. Well, you could have that intercandle. I want a surge, a tail, a stacked imbalance, a delta trap, and volume sequencing. Right? So you're not going to have a lot of trades there. But for example, you might something like that. You say, okay, I want all of these. And there's got to be some sense of, okay, would that make sense? Okay, well, sure, above, below POC, sign of strength. A delta reversal, okay, that's not that uncommon. It's particularly on a spike up or a spike down. Volume sequencing, we see that's very common. You see, I mean, look at all the blue here. We see a volume sequencing. It stands out a little bit more. I brightened the color here so we could see a little bit on the downside here. Not one screaming out at me, but certainly lots of volume sequencing on the up. So you could have all of these. So I want all of those, or do I want one or more? So for example, where that's going to help you, if it's one signal, now, well, perhaps you'll identify it. If you put it to at least 2, you might spot one, but don't see. Oh, hey, and there's a delta reversal there as well. I mean, here, this is one of my favorites, right? So here's trap traders, right? It's a delta reversal to me is trap traders. You can see them here, right? There's 104 went short here, looking for a sell-off, and they got to close. Pardon me, they got to cover. Now note, we come all the way back to it. Interesting, right? Here's trap traders again, right here, right? They're in looking for this to keep coming. Oh, you can see them right here, right? There's 84 lot. Well, you would assume, right, given the size here, that that's someone aggressively shorting here. Now we highlight it. Would they have to cover? Well, it depends. That's almost. Well, we're here. This is a 12 range, so we're almost 4 points here. The other direction, are they trapped here? Are these trapped here, or is this just the start moving down? Sure looks like it. So when we see something like this, that's one that's a heads up. You might, and boy, what a nice move you got off of that. Okay, so just again, I digress here into the last bits of the day. just so you were clear on that. Okay, do I want all signals, right? Everything has to be in one bar if I do it that way. Now, remember, you could do it this way. Say, okay, I want all of these signals to occur in the last 2 bars. So all of these, or 2 or more, or at least 2 of these will have occurred in the last, you decide, 2 bars. I don't know that it'd be unusual perhaps to go beyond 3. Maybe something like this where you're getting some consolidation. You might go to 3. It's just entirely up to you. You might do a little experimenting with it, right? So now you're saying, okay, I want 1 or more, at least 2, or all signals. Do you want some minimum volume? Again, how many in the last 2 or 3 bars? How many signals do you want, right? And if I put these here, now do I want at least 2, all of them, or at least 2 in the last 2 bars? It's something to do a little testing with, but I think the broader point is don't turn your brain off and just depend on this. Still read the market as you would if you didn't have this. This is an assistant, not a replacement. Right? Probably best way to think of it. Don't hesitate. If it doesn't fire over here, but you see something you like, take it, but just don't forget to come over here and take it and turn it off. Okay, guys, I think that probably gets you started here enough so you can do some experimentation with this. And there's no magic number to what I'm doing with a 3 lot and a 12 range. For some reason, right, a 15 range has become very popular, right? So my suggestion would be if you're trading a 12, use a 13 tick stop, so you've got a full bar. And if you're using a 15, well, probably a 16 tick stop. But there's no right or wrong there. Many people prefer to use just a 1 minute, or a 5 minute, or a tick chart. For some reason, I'm just seeing a lot of range charts lately. Range is good because you can still use volume. That's one of the benefits. So I think that's everything I got. Okay, guys, let us know. All right, we're absorbing your feedback. So far, it's been very good, and we appreciate the good ideas that we're getting in terms of how we can tweak and refine here. I think we've got it. So certainly there will be a solid trading experience, and if you have any ideas, let us know. We'd welcome them. Okay, guys, there you go. More videos will be coming, and that'll do it for today.